Good afternoon. My name is Layton. Our company is Pancon Resources, short for Pancontinental. We're listed on the Venture Exchange. Our ticker symbol is PUC. We are at booth 813, and my colleague Janie and I will be there for the rest of the conference if you'd like to come by and talk further. So I'd like to ask you to think of three takeaways of my presentation. The first is we have 4 nickel, cobalt, copper projects in a camp-sized position in northern Ontario. 2, we are next to a former mine that's owned by Glencore. And 3, we're using state-of-the-art airborne geophysical technology to identify additional nickel, cobalt, copper mineralization. My presentation will contain forward-looking statements. We believe that today is the beginning of an energy revolution. There's a paradigm shift going on. Electrification and storage are major themes of this paradigm shift. And we believe that nickel, cobalt, and copper are essential minerals to electrification and storage. And our focus is on capitalizing on this emerging battery and energy metals boom. I mentioned 4 nickel, cobalt, copper projects in northern Ontario. We cover 157 square kilometers in the Montcalm greenstone belt in the Porcupine Mining Division, about 65 kilometers northwest of Timmins. Our team has more than 220 years of collective experience discovering and developing exploration projects and mines and creating value. I want to highlight a couple of people on the slide. Our chair and another founding director, David Mosier, ran High River Gold for many years and turned a $20 million market cap to $1 billion. Our project advisor, Kevin Philo, lives in Timmins and has been working in the Montcalm greenstone belt for 30 years. And he was a part of the team that reassembled the Detour Gold camp and was important in initial discoveries there. Todd Keast, who's our project manager, and he's at the site right now running our drill program, has more than 25 years experience on nickel sulfide projects. The advantage to our location, which covers 157 square kilometers, is that we are next to a former mine. This is a proven mining location. The Montcalm mine, which you can see in the top right of that image, covers about 5 square kilometers. And it produced almost 4 million tons between 2004 and 2009. It was discovered from a single airborne EM anomaly flown by Teck in the 1970s. It was mined by Falconbridge Xstrata, and it's currently owned by Glencore. This whole region in the blue, which our projects, you can see the contour covers all the blue. That's Gabbro-hosted geology, and the Montcalm mine is hosted in the Gabbro complex. What we've done over the past year through the assembly of 4 projects, 3 of which we have one of which we own 100%, 2 of which we have the option to own 100, and 1 of which we announced last Friday we have the option to own 75%, effectively give us complete control over all of the available Gabbro complex in the area. So our thesis is that the Montcalm mine was hosted by Gabbro, and it produced 4 million tons. It had to close early because of a crown pillar collapse, not because they ran out of ore. And we believe that there are additional deposits in this area. We use the Lynn Lake nickel, cobalt, copper mine in northern Manitoba as an analog. It was also hosted by Gabbro Complex. It had 16 lenses in a footprint the size of the Glencore mine property here and produced 30 million tons. This is a cross-section of the Montcalm mine deposit. There were 3 lenses that go between 50 and 300 meters deep. You can see on the table on the right that These are samples of the selected samples from the deposit, but there's some pretty significant nickel, cobalt, and copper grades. Nickel up to 4.3%, cobalt up to 0.3%, copper up to 1.88%. The average nickel grade is 1.24%. So there's good grades here. Last year, over the Montcalm, over 65% of the Montcalm project, which is our primary focus today, we flew state-of-the-art VTEM, airborne geophysics, as well as gravity geophysics. You can see on the bottom right here, this is the single line anomaly. It was a conductor grading 1.35% nickel at about 40 meters below surface, which tech found that became the Montcalm mine, and it's right on the edge of a low mag. So we've used this, again, as an analog, as a guide for our exploration development. 2 weeks ago today, we launched our Maiden drill program here. We're going to drill 4,500 meters. We're on the second hole now. In the first hole, at about 150 meters vertical, we encountered a massive sulfide conductor, which is significant since the previous operators that we've researched didn't seem to intersect any conductors. We've identified 12 targets which we'll be focused on. You can see them in the image there. They're the yellow stars, and they do correspond with low mag features. Kevin Philo on the left and Todd Keast on the right, who's our project manager, these photos were taken a week ago, and this is core from the first hole. So again, we're just getting started here. Last April, when the new Ontario online staking system launched, we picked up 7,600 hectares of Gabbro complex adjacent to the Montcalm project, and we called it Gambler, and we own that 100%. Later this year, just like we did last year with Montcalm, we plan to fly VTEM and gravity airborne geophysics to identify targets. Last week, we announced an option agreement with Palangio to pick up the Strachan Project, which is on the bottom of that image, and it was the last remaining available Gabbro-hosted rock in the area. And similarly to Gambler, this year in Q3 or Q4, we plan to fly VTEM and gravity airborne geophysics there. The Nova project is 19 kilometers southwest of the Montcalm mine, and it's a little different. It's not hosted by Gabbro, it's hosted by an iron formation. But in 1991, a tech geologist found a surface sample that came back at 6.5 pounds a ton cobalt, so a very high-grade sample. This past summer, we did some rock sampling and soil geochemistry and got some interesting results, both cobalt and gold, as well as copper and zinc. That's my presentation. Again, we'll be at booth 813 if you have any further questions. And also, I would say that if you go to our website, panconresources.com, and you sign up, you'll get our monthly free battery metals report that we send out to all of our subscribers. Thank you.